Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to Dental Elements Podcast. This is the podcast for you in the dental profession where we talk innovation, collaboration, and inspiration, and a little instigation now and then. I am your host today, always Cindy Rogers, and I am a dental hygienist turned consultant turned podcast host. On this episode, we have Jill Wade, and here she is joining us.
You look lovely.
Hi.
Mother summer mode.
Oh, I love it. That's my mode I'm usually in.
Which is super hot here in Texas.
Oh, yeah. How hot is it there?
Oh, man. Today, I think we're at 104.
Oh, you know what's hot? Texas is hot. I always say that for smile makers because that's one of our sponsors. Someone like, you know what's hot? Well, nice to meet you. We match. We both have pink on, so that's good.
Yes, don't we?
Yeah. I am wearing my shorts, just my biker shorts.
Oh. Well, you look great. From here up, you look super. I was like, maybe I should change the shirt. I was like,
oh, not at all. I like it. It's better this way. Well, nice to meet you. I've heard lots of good things about you.
Girl, we know a lot of the same people. I have a weird feeling like a lot of the same people.
So let's talk about people. Let's make this episode. Let's talk about these people.
I'm really good friends with Dr. Uchi.
Oh, I love Dr. Uchi.
He's great friend. Been friends with him for probably too many years to count.
I can see that. You guys have a lot in common.
Yeah. And then I've worked with Vanessa Emerson quite a bit. I love
her.
And then I've been in and out of DO quite a bit.
Don't like them. No, I'm just joking. I love DO too.
I never quite get to really utilize, the camaraderie and the networking as much as I would like to. And that thing today, when I saw that, I was like, yes, I must get back involved with that so much more. We need to get together. You're my kind of people. I'm your kind of people.
Yeah, sounds like
We're the ones that keep making it moving.
Keep finding each other. You find each other. Is there any certain topic you want to talk about?
I want to be here just to serve you and serve your listeners. So obviously I've been in dentistry for quite a long time, so I can pretty much talk about any subject matter if there's anything major going on that you want to. But right now we've just been talking a lot about kind of finances and financial information that people just don't talk about and how stressful that can be. And I think that goes for not only, physicians and the doctors themselves, the dentists, but also our teams. And, we just work so hard.
Everything's just like going up in cost. And then everybody's costs go up, and then you have teams that have been there forever. There's a lot going on for everybody. Yeah.
And so, if you want to talk about any of that, we can. I'm open to anything, my dear.
Okay. So Dr. Jill Wade is our guest today on the show. Do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you want people to know about you, whether it's true or not? It's up to you.
Yeah. I'll try to stick to the truth. Yes, Dr. Jill Wade. I practice in Frisco, Texas. I've been in dentistry for over 25 years, and I love it today as much as I loved it when we first got started. It is just a wonderful profession. I think it's a beautiful profession for women, and it just gives us so many different opportunities to be able to kind of create and design how we want to work, when we want to work, and feel really empowered by our, kind of inner purpose, by helping others get what they need and want. And so I can't say enough about dentistry, and I'm just super glad to be here with you and all the things you've accomplished, and just to have this podcast and to be helping people stay motivated and happy and inspired. I think it's just wonderful. So kudos to you.
You've had a podcast as well, so how it's something from the heart, right?
Right. Almost like birthing a baby, right? It's like
it is.
Writing a book, and a podcast is just really something that most of us, not all of us are called for, but those of us who are called to do it, it's kind of a passion, isn't it?
It is, yes. And you have written a book too. So, how many books have you written?
So I have written 2, and I actually am just finishing one that I'm really excited about. And it's going to be coming up probably actually here in the next couple of months to be ready to get published and out there. This one's taken on a little bit of a different swing. Most everything else has been truly dental and scientific related. This one is going to be talking a little bit more about the entrepreneurial side of owning a dental business, mostly towards more entrepreneurial thinking women. We have some unique situations that can occur for us in our lives that are a little bit different than just a male entrepreneur. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of people out there talking about that and able to give some of their wisdom and insight. I'm 53 years old, and I would love to allow other people who are younger than I am to hear kind of some of the school of hard knocks things that I've learned, and maybe not take them quite so long or so hard to learn some of the lessons I've learned. And there's just not a lot of people out there sharing that information.
That's great. Yeah, I have a passion. I share that passion with you to share with people or mentor people, like let them know, hopefully if somebody listens, like if we would listen to our parents,
Exactly.
So listen. Yeah, exactly. Good. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'll definitely have to have you back on when the book is ready to share it. And with I'm all about entrepreneurship as well. That's a passion of mine, and I'm a woman. But yeah, so tell us a little bit more about the entrepreneurship side of it. Then, like, do you talk about the financing part, or just the time and the family balancing? If you want to share your top secrets or what?
Absolutely. So, like I said, I've been in dentistry for 25 years. So I've pretty much been through every phase of career, as far as starting off early from school, having a lot of debt, being an associate, starting my own practice, having a partnership dissolve, then having my own business all by myself for a while, having associates, having partners. Like I've pretty much been through it all. And every phase is very unique and different. And, for a lot of years, well, I was a single parent with twin girls for about 10 years. And during that 10-year period of time, there were really some big shoes to try to fill, trying to be both mom and dad. I always just was working so hard to just try to add like an additional income into our family, our family financial background, just because that's what I just kind of felt like society was telling me, like, you're a good, strong family if you have a 2-person family income. And as a single parent, that was hard to do, right? So I just kept working so hard to figure out how to do that. And I'd open up another business and create another entrepreneurial idea. Well, all that did was honestly make me work harder and didn't always quite give me the end result that I was looking for, because I was investing so much money into those new businesses. And so finally, I just started to realize that, hey, there has to be another solution. Like there has to be another way to do this. And as I just kind of grew into looking into other, financial opportunities, I realized that all the answers were already right there in front of me. It was just to do things differently and actually have more of a tax strategy, a tax reduction strategy, debt reduction strategy that worked better for me, have my assets work for me, better. And that the money really already was right there in front of me. I just wasn't hearing these opportunities or these options from the people and the teams that I had around me. They were great. They were telling me all about 401ks, which were, fabulous. And everybody was like, put as much money into those as you can. All great things, but it didn't diversify me enough. I still had all my eggs in one basket, the dental office, right? So when the pandemic hit, and that practice was taken away from me for 3 or 4 months as they shut us all down, my life just kind of went to a screeching halt. And I would have never guessed that could have happened to me in a million years. And I certainly wasn't prepared for it. But man, did I get prepared after that, because I thought there is no way I'm ever going to let something like this happen to me again. And really at that point, my whole attitude kind of changed from having a business that was creating a lifestyle for me, and that the business that I was going to continue to create was going to be an investment for me. And that investment was going to allow me to diversify into other things, get more eggs into my basket, so that I could be much more resilient or tolerant of whatever was to come, in the near future or in the further future that, we all are experiencing all those ups and downs every day, right?
Right. And so now you have a passion to share like financial secrets or strategies or ways too. So give us, what did you learn, or what's working for you? What did you do?
Yeah, super question. So obviously, if you do own your own business and you have the opportunity and it makes sense to have a brick and mortar, which most dentists and dental offices obviously have a brick and mortar. My main thing is, stop leasing and get into commercial real estate and know your area. You usually know your area very well, so you know which areas are growing, which areas are going to hold their value. And so commercial real estate and even larger than what your physical office can be is great, because then you can have renters who can then help you pay for your asset. So that's one of my first biggest, things to talk to people about, is try to get out of leasing. And even if it's, my employees, I try to get them out of leasing apartments and things like that as soon as possible into homes, so that they're taking their money and they're using it to grow an asset for them. And it may not seem like a quick fix. It may be a longer solution, but it's a great solution. And I really just don't see people, even in today's times with the interest rates and things like that, I still think it's a great, great option.
As you're paying it down, it's increasing in value. I mean, most likely.
Most likely. And you're creating your equity in it. And eventually you can use that in a different way, or use that as leverage to borrow money for something else, right?
Right.
So commercial real estate's been really, really good to me, especially in Frisco, Texas, where I practice. When I first started practicing there was only 14,000 people. Now there's over 200,000 people. And so the area's just really kept its, not just kept its value, it's certainly grown its value.
So you wish you would have bought the real estate back 25 years ago.
That's why I'm here, because I want to get these people secrets faster. If somebody would have just told me, do whatever you can do to buy property back then, I just didn't understand the long-term value in that, or I would have done everything I could have done at that moment in time to have done exactly what you just said. Mm-hmm. So my whole goal is just to try to give people, a hand up, not a handout per se, but hey, if you can take this information and do something with it earlier in your life than I did, and let time work for you, then it's a blessing. It'll be a big blessing. We also went more towards something that's, you may not have ever heard of it before, but it's called infinite banking. And it's using whole life policies to act like a bank. So let's say you have extra money, but you have it sitting in a savings account. It's really not doing all that much for you, except, maybe making you a little bit of money.
Making you think you have money.
Yeah, exactly. But if you put that same kind of money into what they call a whole life policy, written very well for you, it's still going to act like a savings account, and you can pull money in and back into it and out of it at your leisure. So if there's cash flow issues going on in your life or in your business, it kind of helps you with that cash flow. It's kind of like your own little personal, nest egg, egg nest. What am I trying to say? Egg nest.
Nest
yeah.
egg.
That's it. There we go. And but on the same side, you have this policy, this life insurance policy, that is also growing in value. So you get to use your money in there multiple times, and you get that. It is so weird that nobody talks about this, and it is one of the best things that I have found for small business owners and entrepreneurs to use. It's also very great for asset protection as well. So we love whole life policies, and we're really wanting to get to the point where we can explain that better to people and let them use them.
It almost sounds like real estate, where you're paying into it, but you can borrow from it and pay yourself back. I wonder why people don't. I've heard a lot about term life.
Exactly. Well, term's good if you need to have something to put up for, your commercial real estate, because it's affordable. But other than that, it's not really doing anything for you. And so I love to let people know about these other ways. Disney started his whole empire from a whole life policy. And so there's lots of people, excuse me, the lady that started Pampered Chef, that's how she did it. There's a lot of people, if you really pull back the layers of how they started their businesses, that have started them this way.
Yeah, interesting. I love watching those movies and learning about how people started their business. And those are my favorite.
So we love things like that. And, for most of us, I don't care if you do own your own business, or you own a little side hustle business, or you own a big, multi-million-dollar business. I've just realized that for the most part, people do not really know their numbers. They don't really, really know their numbers. They don't know how much. Well, they really don't even know, those little things that you can print out from QuickBooks called a P&L, a profit and loss statement, and a balance sheet. They really don't understand what kind of juicy, good information is sitting inside of there, because they're not accountants. We weren't trained to be accountants. We were trained to be dentists. We were trained to be hygienists. We were trained to be assistants. And we weren't ever really trained on how to know our numbers and look in our QuickBooks and see what those numbers mean. And so for me, it's like I grew up in this world that talking about money or how much you had or how much debt you had was like taboo. Like, we don't talk about that around the dinner table with people. We should, but we don't. And so just really trying to create a community and environment where it is okay to talk about that. And it is okay to say, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't even know what that means. What is a P&L? I know my accountant gets me one. I wouldn't look at it and know if it was right or wrong. Like, what does it tell me? And so we're really just trying to open up some of those conversations and say, hey, it's okay that you don't know that, but here's what you do need to know. And here's just at least a certain level of knowledge that would help you make better decisions now and in the future for your business or your family. You gotta understand, like, what are your expenses? Hate to say the word budget, but let's talk about a budget. And just at least so that you know what you have to have coming in to actually make your ends meet. We call that BAM when we're talking about the dental practices. You have to know what your bare ass minimum BAM is for your practice, so that you always know that that's the very lowest number that you could possibly go to from a collection standpoint. Because anything below that, it's going to be a direct hit on the owner. And
someone's
if that goes on, exactly, or they get very, very stressed out. And then who does that trickle down effect go to?
Right.
It goes right down the line through the business. It can really, suck the energy and the flow out of taking care of patients. And so that's what we're trying not to do. People love what they do. They want to take care of patients, right? They don't want to think about cash flow issues and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't know your numbers, it's really hard to prepare. And I'm just a big person, same thing in dentistry. Do we want to be preventive or do we want to be reactive? Well, I think a lot of us want to be preventive in nature, right?
Right.
And that's what we're encouraging our patients to do. It's the same thing in business. We want to be preventive. We don't want to be reactive. We want to be preventive. And the best way that you can do that is just knowing your numbers. But sometimes you got to kind of do that with somebody who honestly isn't kind of an accountant and a financial guru, because they just think about it in a completely different way. They're not in our shoes. They don't totally think exactly like we do as small business owners.
Yeah. And being a dentist, like, I don't know how you guys do it. Just watch, doing patient care, like as a hygienist doing patient care. And at the end of the day, you're just exhausted. Yeah. Your dentist's going to go sit on your desk, in between patients and whatever, drink your Slurpees and file your nails. Now, there's a lot going on. You got to run a business and do that. That's like 2 full-time jobs right there. So,
it really is.
Yeah. And you understand that for people.
And sometimes they don't do either one too well when we get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's just some crabby, nice. Stress. Like I get crabby when I get stressed. Yeah.
It's stress. And, we all have it and it all comes and goes. And unfortunately right now with the way the world is, you never know how it's going to be tomorrow. Like everything's kind of seems like it's just up and down and everything's moving so fast and so quick that my biggest piece of advice to people these days is just like, hey, now is the time. Now is the time to have intention of doing something about whatever it is that you can control. Because the more things you feel like you can control, good or bad, you actually have less stress. It's when we don't feel like we have any control over anything is when we actually get more stressed. And so it's kind of sounds counterintuitive that it doesn't matter what it is. The more things you feel like you can control, the better life feels. Or business or anything, right?
Right. And things aren't going to get cheaper. So it's like, oh, everything's so expensive right now. Well, do you really think has bread ever gone down after it's gone up? No, it's going to get more expensive. It's not going to go down. So we need to rise up, get there and learn how to live there and work together.
Yeah.
Educate each other.
I think too, for a lot of business owners, sometimes I think they think too much transparency is not good for the team, or maybe they're embarrassed to be transparent that, the practice isn't making enough to be fully profitable, because all the team sees is what's coming in.
Yeah,
right?
They just think you're rich because they see that big checks coming from the insurance companies. Yeah.
It's not true. It's not true. There's a lot
By the way, they're so stressed out. They're rich. I saw, they got a checkbook. I saw that.
Yeah. They don't realize how much is going out. And so it is important, I think, for certain aspects of the practice to be more transparent to the team so that they understand. Because if they can understand, anybody can understand BAM kind of in a budget, even for their own household, then they can be a part of the solution. And once they feel like they can be part of the solution, they understand their why behind their job and how it plays into the overall practice. I think you get a lot better buy-in. The culture and the practice is a lot more team oriented. And then we just have a lot of happy employees and team members. And then we have happy patients. And
just having a happy team, honestly, the energy in the office, it attracts patients. But you go into someplace and you could tell if everybody runs and hides or nobody wants to help you, you're not going to buy anything. You're going to go someplace where their energy's good and they're welcoming and they're there and they want to help you. The team's happy, not where they're just, unhappy and scaring people away. And so having a happy, less stressed dentist helps with that. Are you frozen or you just like posing? Hello. Well, we're going to take a little intermission break. And I just wanted to thank Smile Makers for sponsoring this episode. Oh, there she is. She's back. Okay. I was going to do a little commercial break.
Free too. I'm sorry. I don't know. I froze. It must be so tantalizing and such exciting information we were giving that it just.
I know. We're talking about energy. There you go. It might be my internet. I don't know. So anyway, yeah. So I think it just makes everybody a better place to work. Everybody's happier to come to work. Everybody does better. And who doesn't want to have a happy workplace, right? Which sounds funny because you're talking about numbers, but at the same time, I don't think you mean you're not only talking about business. Like sometimes in morning huddles, you'll go over numbers, but you need to have it be a perspective of patients' health and going over how you can help the patients, but understand it is a business.
When you have that flow and that knowledge that everybody has, then I personally feel then the money flows with that. If you're going in every day with the only thought process of, I got to sell, it's almost like you're deflecting the flow of that business coming to the practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you go in there every day with a positive mindset of abundance and not lack, then guess what? That's what they feel. Then they know your treatment planning from what's best for them. And then they're able to say, yes, I would like that type of treatment.
You're helping them more because if I'm thinking, I got to sell, I got to offer them fluoride and you're like, oh, do you want this? It's going to cost whatever. You're not selling it for one thing. You're not helping them either because you're afraid to say it. But if you really like, oh, this will really help you, benefit you, you're helping them. It's just getting that understanding and balance together. And
absolutely.
Flow,
remember, they're coming for your expertise. They're coming for you to share your expertise. And if you don't, then you're the one that's actually not doing your job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's up to them if they take that advice or want to do the treatment or not. But if you don't tell them, no, we're not really here to talk about the book. I just brought it up because you were talking about the book. But do you offer some kind of coaching services? Or
you can go to Progressive Finance. They can kind of check that out on Facebook or Instagram. They can go to the website, check it out. We are going to start to have a lot of awesome information. We're going to do some private kind of Facebook group courses and teaching. I think that's a great place to start because, we just want to give of our knowledge and let people start to join our community and start opening up conversations. And then we're going to offer more and more things as we go along.
So let's definitely meet again. And if not in person, definitely when you have your book come out, let's do another episode and share some insights.
I think that would be great.
Yes.
I think that would be wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Dental Elements Podcast. For more episodes, check out our website at rootyouon.com. You'll find links to our previous episodes, our guests, how to contact our guests, special deals, anything like that. You can watch the videos on YouTube, our YouTube channel. And check us out. Until next time, cheers.